They say people, yeah, after a few minutes, I want to.
सिर्फ पुलिस वालों के डर की वजह
Still gonna do this. We want to do download. Try to go through Keep this certain corner. Or do you want to keep this certain context? I think of this standing here and put it back. There. And you look this. He's always older to both sides.
Power on. Bluetooth ready.
Firstly, can everyone hear me okay? Okay. Is it all right?
Can you use your?
No?
Is it on?
Is that better? Can you hear me in the back now?
Drone. Might. Yeah. Yes, on.
Can you hear me?
It's got 1 second.
Okay, is this any better? Yeah? First of all, I just want to thank you all for coming today. Obviously, it's a really solemn occasion. But if you knew Dad, he'd like to put on a show a little bit. And so we really appreciate you all being here. If you're not familiar with who I am, I'm his eldest son. My name is Rohan. This is my younger brother, Tharin. So first, obviously, I just want to express how much it means to us that you took the time to be here today. Each and every one of you, in whatever capacity that you met him or you knew him, you held a place in his heart. And you know that he went above and beyond to show everybody the time of day, random calls here and there. And he was just a really dedicated person to everyone in this room. The ceremony really would not feel complete without your presence. There's so many stories I could go through about him. As you guys know, he led a very full life, even in the short time. He always believed in quality over quantity, and I'm very happy to see that. I feel like he accomplished a lot of what he wanted to do. But I really just want to spend more time on highlighting who he was as a man, and kind of the incredible impact he really had on all of us. One thing that really categorized Dad was how fiercely loyal he was to friendship. Friendship was really, really important to him. He cultivated super deep bonds that lasted decades. It wasn't uncommon to see him sitting in the office room, spinning on that office chair of his, laughing, talking with college roommates or friends he met in other cities or work colleagues. He was just, had a zest for life and really a zest for friendship, and really just exploring the world and meeting new people, consistently. As a father and a husband, that was the icing on the cake. I mean, he could not have been a better father or a better husband. To Tharin and me, he was an incredible mentor. He was stern yet guiding, and in how he taught, us both to navigate life, yet he was also incredibly tender. It's really rare to find a dad who would actively go out of his way to seek out hugs and kisses, and it really, it made Tharin and I really appreciate life and know how to express ourselves, and I think he really gave us a lot of emotional maturity in the way that he carried himself with us. He was just as quick to give us a warm hug or a kiss as he was to lecture us on why we should really, really do a computer science major. In terms of as a husband, Mom and him, you guys created some truly, truly beautiful memories in your time together. They traveled to the corners of the globes. They weathered moves and really complex life changes. And more than anything, they share a really immense love that continues and will continue forever. And another part that everyone knows, he was deeply committed to his profession and his career. And as a professional, I think it's hard to argue that he didn't achieve some really incredible milestones. He reached places that maybe even he would have only dreamt of. But that's exactly why he reached them. He had a really rare gift of rooting his dreams in action. And it's what made him so successful, not just in his career, but in how he was with us and with the friends around him. Whether you knew him from school, from work, or from his beloved yearly golf trips, or if you were lucky enough to be his family, I think we can all agree his presence was a true blessing. He will be deeply missed, but we'll all work really hard to continue his legacy and make him proud in the choices that we make and the lives that we live. Again, I really want to thank you all for being here today. I know he's smiling down on us, probably mid-swing with that questionable golf stance, playing around wherever he is. And I really feel incredibly blessed that his life could bring us all together one more time. Thank you. If anybody else wants to say anything else.
Yeah, I think Rohan did a really good job talking, and I don't want to take too much and say the same things, but I think it's really hard to summarize the impact that someone can have in 55 years in 2 or 3 minutes. But I'll just say that, I mean, when you see this many people in the room, it shows you how many people cared about Ram, how many people's lives he touched. And that's the biggest thing here is it's very thankful to see this many people here and shows you the impact he had in all of our lives. We thank you guys all for being here. And that's also just as a quick reminder when people are giving speeches up here, please don't have side conversations and stuff. There's some background noise stuff. Thank you.
If there's anybody else that would like to say a few words.
Hello everyone. My name is Nigesh. For those of you who don't know me, I'm his brother. To me, Ram was not just a brother to me. It was much more than to me. He was my best friend. We were only 15 months apart. We literally grew up together. We went to the same classes. We were in the same schools. And he was my father figure for the last 30 years. We were the two of us in the family here in the US, the rest of my family being in India. He was a lot more than a brother to me. I want to share some personal stories with Ram. As I said before, we were in the same class since the 5th grade, not because Ram failed, but because I had a double promotion. So we had a very healthy academic competition right from the beginning. Ram was not a kind of guy who would stay up late and study all night. I was on the other end of the spectrum, studying all night, working hard, trying to get the best grades. Ram didn't care about the grades. He was all about tinkering electronics, putting things apart, putting them together. He used to ruin all our electronics in our home during his childhood. But he was a very, very curious guy. He used to be all around, like looking for things to break and things to fix together. So my parents used to be very worried about him because he was not getting good grades, and at 9 p.m. like a clockwork, he would just go to bed. We will have a final exam, and he doesn't care what kind of exam it is, he'll just go to bed. And I'll be studying all night, and when the grades come, yeah, I'll score a little bit more than him, but just marginally better than him. And I used to really hate that. It's like I used to work really hard, and then I would get just a little bit better grades than him. So that was very frustrating. But that kind of shows that his intelligence, his passion for what he did, but he didn't have a lot of effort into that one. I will share one more. And by the way, if you guys don't know, he studied in Hindi medium till 9th grade. He learned English in 10th grade. And 10th was a board exam in India, and it was a tough exam, but he scored first class marks in 10th grade, just starting to learn English in 10th grade. That was something. Well, he went on to achieve great success in his career. He had he graduated a computer science degree, but somehow he gravitated towards financial industry right from the beginning. I don't know why. And he had some kind of passion for that. So his first job out of the school was a fintech company, a financial software company. And in that job, he was doing so good in the first few months. It was a startup company. They started selling to the financial tech companies, and in 94, 92, 93, finance industry was not that tech in India. So he started selling software. He was very innovative in his sales pitch, and he was making really good money within the 6 months. Now my dad, just being an Indian father and being worried about, what this guy will never get good grades, how come he's making so much money? He started suspecting he's doing something illegal that he's making so much money. So he started stalking him. So he will go to his work, he'll follow him back, and he'll go to his clients, and he'll be following him. So he did that for 1 week, and he couldn't figure out, well, how come he's making so much money? And then he confronted him, and he said, what the hell is going on here? It's like, well, how are you making so much money here? And then Ram gave answers, nope, I'm selling, here I'm making commissions and all those things. My dad was not convinced, so he finally went to talk to his boss, or he, saw his pay slip or something. And then finally, he was convinced that, yes, he's a smart kid, he's, and he's doing well in his career. Well, outside of work, Ram's true love is for golf, and many of you guys have golf with him. No matter where he goes, the first thing he does is takes his bag and just goes to the golf course. Every time he came to Arizona, he will drag me to the golf course. Yeah, I didn't do any swinging, like him, but it was just fun to be on the golf course with him. He was just a fun-filled guy, compassionate guy, a lot of love, and whenever you're around him, you can feel that honesty, the genuineness, and his compassion and love. Ram was full of ideas. I'm sure he's right now, there's something going on in his head. He's thinking about what business to start, what problem to solve. Because every time he would come to family get-togethers and things like that, he will get a few minutes, and he'll be on his computer and he's searching for, there's a problem here. It's like, how can we solve this? And next thing he'll be talking about, hey, we should start a business like this. I think there's a problem here. And his head is always churning and thinking about some new ideas. Right? So he's constantly on it, right? So anyway, over the last few years, Ram and two of our close friends, we decided that, hey, we're getting old, we got to spend time together. For the last couple of years, we've been making some trips. Even though those trips were like short, 3 days, 4 days, but it helped us bond together again. And the last trip we made together was in New Orleans. He started having some issues back then, December 23, but I didn't even know at that point that he had these issues, but we actually walked miles. He never complained about it. It was fun. We never felt anything that, he was not feeling well. But it was amazing. That was, memorable event and memorable time that we had all together. Before I close, I just want to say a few words about Nina, Ram's wife. Over the last 12 months, Nina cared for him with extraordinary strength and love. If my mom carried around in her womb for 9 months, Nina carried him for 12 outside the womb, with just as much devotion and probably far more pain. You know what? You are his constant source of comfort. You don't need thanks for loving him the way you did, but I'm deeply grateful for what you did. You gave him peace, dignity, and love when he needed it most. So thank you everyone for coming. Thank you. Anyone else wants to say a few words, please come on.
I'm not sure if I will to speak today. So I wrote down. We have known Ram for 30 years. Not just a friend, a co-worker, my younger brother, and Nina, like my sister. We gathering here to honor the life of a remarkable individual,
friend, brother, mentor, a leader. Ram worked for me for several years. I recognize that Ram is very smart. Then I have worked for Ram for several years. He made sure that I never feel that I'm working for him. He treated me like a brother with respect. "30 years of friendship showed me the depth of his character and the brilliance of his mind. As said by Nagesh, he was entrepreneur, innovator, always working hard, always asking each one of his friends, co-workers, people who work for him, to work as hard as he. As a software engineer, as a CTO, as CEO of a fintech, a startup that we proudly invested in, a visionary, as a family man, a pillar of strength. Whenever I needed, if I'm in difficulty, I need advice, I'll call him. If I needed a job, I knew I can call him. We do a lot of charitable work. Ram was in Charlotte. He got initiated with us into Kriya Yoga. He moved to New Jersey. We would raise fund and call Ram that Ram, we need donation. He would never tell Nina, it's simply write the check. And I mean thousands of dollars. I tell you one more story. My daughter's wedding was in 2022. She set up a wedding registry. A lot of people signed up for a lot of small items. The expensive items were still on the list remaining. One day, my daughter calls that Ram uncle bought all the items that were left. Several $1,000. That was Ram. He always was willing to give at his own personal risk. Let's remember him for his love he shared, the lives he touched, and the legacy he leaves behind. His spirit will continue to inspire us all. He was always there to help anyone. You can call Ram if you need donation, you can call him if you need a job, you can call him if you just need some advice. And he will went out his way at his own risk to help others. I want to close this by praying to Lord to give us strength to understand his Leela, his play. And I would want to chant a verse from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse number 22. Vasansi jirani yatha vihaya navani grahani naro parani tatha sharirani vihaya jira yanyati sanyati navani dehi. This verse, for those who do not know, beautifully illustrates the concept of reincarnation, emphasizing that the soul remains unchanged while transitioning through different physical forms. It is a profound reminder of the eternal nature of the soul and the self. The soul never dies, that's who we are. I pray to Lord to give us the strength and courage to understand his teachings. And I also pray to Lord to give the strength to Neha Roman, Tarun, Nagesh, Mahi, and all Nina brothers and family members to bear this loss.
Hi everyone. My name is Mahi. I'm Ram's brother-in-law, for those of you who don't know. I understand it's a sad day, for all of us, but he gave us a lot of happy moments. I wanted to actually share a story, a happy anecdote, I would say. I did not get a chance to attend Ram's and Nina's wedding. I was here in the US. I had just graduated and had a couple of interviews lined up, so I could not make it. But when they got back to Denver, I was in Dallas at that time. And I was making plans to go and meet him in Denver. It's kind of awkward because I never saw him, so it was the first time trying to see him. So we met at the airport. There was a little bit of awkwardness, I guess, trying to gauge each other. And then that day, I remember we went to a restaurant, and right off the bat, I was looking at the drinks menu, and he went to the main course, on the menu. I looked at him, he looked at me, we looked at Nina, and Nina was looking at us. He was like, how could you do this? I built up this good image of you and you let it crumble. And I guess the look on his face was like, wow, I'm in the right company here. So I guess, I brought up the beast mode in him. But ever since, we shared some great moments. Like even a couple of weeks ago, I was at the hospital. Every time I would go to the hospital, he's constantly watching this home improvement channel. And I said, Ram, let's watch something fun. How much home improvement, you're gonna be watching. So I guess it was the draft was going on, the NFL draft, and we were watching the draft, and I was explaining to him the whole Shedeur Sanders fiasco, and he looked at me, he's like, who's Shedeur Sanders? So, but it was fun, we shared some really good, happy moments. We miss him. Ram, wherever you are, I hope you have peace, you have happiness, and make sure you look at the drinks menu next time you go. I miss you.
Hi everyone, my name is Satish. The family knows me as Anil, which is my middle name. And I'm Nina's brother. And when Nina and Ram got married, our family just my parents did not just get a son-in-law, they also got a son. We just didn't get a brother-in-law, we got a brother that we would look up to, that would make us laugh, that gave us so many happy moments. And we really miss him just in these past few days, and I'm sure we'll miss him in the future. But Ram was the kind of guy that made every moment that we spent together very special. whether it was on the golf course. We had our perfect foursome, Rohan and I versus Ram and Tarun. And Ram would basically carry Tarun for the entire 18 holes. We're gonna miss you on the golf course, Ram. And we had some extremely happy moments that we're going to cherish at home, whether it was for birthdays, anniversaries, festivals. I want to share an anecdote with you, which I'm sure we all will agree on the kind of person that Ram was and why he made such an impact in people's lives. This was an incident from about 10 years ago. We were in North Carolina, we were visiting Nina and Ram and Rohan and Tarun. And we had rented a boat and we had gone onto the lake. Ram was driving the boat for the most part, and it was smooth sailing. And then for about 5 minutes, he asked me to take the reins of the boat. In those 5 minutes, as you may have guessed, the boat ran aground. We hit a sandbar and the boat was not moving. Ram did not panic, nor did he blame, nor did he do anything to upset anyone. He simply took back the controls of the boat, had a few of us step outside and push the boat off the sandbar, and quickly we were moving again. That's the kind of person Ram was. He always knew how to do the right thing. He always made you feel important. He always made you feel special. He always made you feel comfortable when you went to his house. We're going to miss you when we go to your house, but we know you're always going to be there in our hearts, in our minds. And I pray to the Lord to bring you peace and give strength to Nina and the kids. And we'll be there from now on to carry Tarun on the golf course. Thank you.
Howdy. I'm Ram's older cousin. We have a large family. My father has 6 brothers and 3 sisters, and Ram was son of my father's older brother. So I've been in his life most of his life. He has spent a few years away in Madhya Pradesh in India when they were living there in the younger days, but once they moved to Hyderabad, where I lived, from then onwards, we spent the last 50 years together in each other's lives in different forms and in all occasions. Every single significant event in my life was present. And the same, I was in his too. And different people have explained how he has impacted their life, and I don't want to repeat some of the same things, but I want to share some of my experiences. And he was always loving. He was a family man. He loved the family, whether it is far away in India or close here. He would be in everybody's events. He would never miss an event. If it's possible, he will try to make it every single time. Every single moment of everybody's significant moment, he was there. And that's the kind of person he is. With all the busy things people have explained, he's been an entrepreneur, he's been successful in things, but still, he would never miss anybody's sorrow or happiness, and he would be there helping. and that's a testament for the kind of life he led. And I would jokingly tell him, it's like if he had a bucket list, it would always be empty. By the time we put something in the bucket list, he would do it. He's that instinctive kind of person. He would just do it. And one time we were at a golf course talking about which was the best golf course that we should play. Throwing different ways, different courses out, and then Pebble Beach came up. And I found out the next month he took the whole family and he was there and spent a week and he was showing pictures from Pebble Beach. Right after, it was like, it's that kind of instinct. When something comes to mind, he'll just do it. I think that's been his nature even since childhood. When we were growing up, I was older to him, and so he would look up to me for certain things. As we grow older, he came to US, he became a friend, and later on in life, he would be my golf guru. He would teach me things. He would grab me to do things that I would normally do. He would push me. So he's been playing all of those roles. Anything he did it with, like somebody said, he did it with so much love that he makes you feel that you are the most important person in his life at that point. So, and always there, he helped the family. Like somebody said, charity. He was. It's not only the Clear Yoga, he was the biggest donor for the Chinmay mission here. He was always there whenever for any cause that we would bring up, and I could count on him to go to him and say, I don't even have to say it. Sometimes I actually would say, hey, you're donating. So he's like, yeah, no problem. Just count me in. So I had so much confidence that he built that kind of rapport with anything you do. Every single time he would just be there for the community or for anybody else that touched his life. The same thing, and he would think about, came up that he would go to the base camp in Everest. He just did it. He's done, I think, a lot of things that that we would still want to do or have on our bucket list. So I'm happy that he has so many people he touched in a positive way, and I'm sure that his soul is going to be in a good place.
Hi everyone, my name is Rahul. I'm his nephew. Ram Baba taught me how to be generous. He gave his time, his money, whatever he gave without even checking if he had it. And it shows how much more we have in ourselves. And I always remember how to be generous from him. He taught me how to encourage. Anytime I talked to him, he would just say, good job, Nana. Good shot, Nana. Just always show me how much that meant to me. And he taught me how to achieve and chase dreams. I remember we were sitting in a ski lodge, me, Dhar, and Rohan, and he told me, I still remember this, he said, never be afraid to ask for what you want, because the worst thing someone could say is no. And I always think about that when I try to, I'm scared to ask for something, I just think about that. And his legacy will live on through all of us and through me. So I hope we just make the best of our lives as he did. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Sridhar, another brother-in-law, but from a cousin sister of Ram, and a similar experience. It's always fun, always good times we had whenever we met, and I think for me, a couple of things to kind of illustrate what Ram meant for us. For him there's no concept like extended family, it's all big family for him.
So the cousin sister and the way their relationship for me was very endearing or motivating, inspiring in a lot of ways. A couple of things about some fun facts. I think it is during his fintech sales job. Maybe he was in Hyderabad, and my wife was kind of with her. They were like little kids, maybe high school kids, and they were in Hyderabad, away from their parents. Their parents were in Kuwait, but they were kind of with some support managing things there. But my wife tells me Ram somehow always used to stop by almost every day, and just to have a cup of coffee or tea. And actually, those tea breaks later on, we came to know those were, I mean, just a pretense, just he wanted to check how things are going and keep an eye on his little sister and brother. He was always caring and loving, from what I could see. Another one, personal one, is when Leela, my wife, we were just getting engaged or about to get engaged, and I was back in LA. The engagement was supposed to be in India, but I think before the engagement, I think Ram was in Bay Area at that time, and yeah, he came over to LA to meet me, and I thought it is, just to get to know kind of thing. But later on, I came to know that he approved, or he kind of gave the green signal, and that's what made my wife feel comfortable to say yes. So by the way, it was an arranged marriage. So that for me, it's like the close bond and the relationship they had. I think with all the cousins and of course the family. And I saw some pictures with my kid on his shoulders. You could see like he's the happiest when he's with the little kids. Like, yeah, I think I will miss that for my kid. But we'll always carry the memories and the spirit in our hearts.
Hi, I'm Radhika. I'm a Rama Wisner niece. I'll keep it brief. We talked so much about all the love that he had to give, and if there was anything that he did in this life, it was give. But if there was one thing he did take, it was photos, selfies, right? You can see this whole slideshow. This was the final cut of thousands and thousands of photos that he's documented over the years. And he always made a point, no matter big or small event, whatever was happening, he made sure to document it. And we had the privilege of being able to look through all of those over the past couple days and share some of the highlights. But we're so lucky to have a person like him in our lives, and to have documentation of every single one of those moments for whenever we're lonely. So if there's one thing we can all learn from Rama and take forward with us, and a moment we can remember him in, it's when we take our photos and we document our lives. And just I encourage all of us to kind of keep doing that and think of him.
I'm Devin. I think I've known Ram for a very, very long time. And I hired him in my company. He worked for me, became a very, very good friend. We got married. Kids, we've seen their growth. But it's very hard to describe for me my relationship with Ram. It's not only he worked for me, he was my friend. Then he became my younger brother. And then any time when he needed to make a decision, he'll always come. Wanted to start his company and said, Vipin, I want to start my company. So Ram, where's the money gonna come from? He said, that's your problem. Then he wanted to do his MBA. And he called me, Vipin, I need to do an MBA. I said, why do you want to do an MBA? He said, well, I'm here, I need to go to the next level and you need to have a living. So MIT, and it was, I think, one more he was looking at. And I said, yes, this is the right thing to do. So he did his MBA. And then he came to Miami, ACI International, and he was interviewing for his job as a CEO. And that's when I said, Ram, are you sure you want to do it? And said, I want to give it a try. So many interactions with him at a personal level is hard to talk about all of them. Incredible memories. I just conclude by saying that I was listening to that poem which earlier was playing, a very, very famous poem from Adi Shankaracharya, Shivoham, Shivoham. And those of you who understand that, Adi Shankaracharya went to a great length to describe who am I and who am I not. If I look around the persons, people I know, I think Ram understood that incredibly well. And that's why all the experiences we are all talking about is truly reflective of it. He understood what life is and how to live it fully every day. Thank you.
I think we have time for maybe 2 or 3 speeches, 5-10 minutes, if anyone wants to.
My name is Rajesh. I met Ram in our MIT. We both did our MIT MBA. I spent a lot of conversations with him. Used to drive from New Jersey, come in the evenings. Sometimes there is a restaurant called Shy Bird in opposite MIT. Used to skip classes in the morning and sit and talk. He helped me get to some of the professional challenges I had at the time, even at the personal level. He was always there to talk to you. I never thought of him as a co-art or friend. The moment you talk to him, you feel like he's a brother. You put like some kind of a relationship term to him. That's what. He would hug you with his words. He would hug you with his advice. And he's very humble. He's so knowledgeable, no intelligent, but he never showed that to you. He'd say, okay, Rajesh, how do you want to approach this? Tell me. But he'll make you feel that as if I came up with the solution, but all the way he was guiding us. And I nice to see everybody talk about how he touched us. This is what I strongly believe. God manifests himself in various forms among us. I think Ram is one of them. I seriously believe in what he was, what he stood for, and how he spread love to us, how he showed humanity. That's something I want to learn from Ram is, hey, you have to be humble, you have to be human, and you have to be kind. That's what I learned from Ram. And I think I speak for my entire MIT class. He showed it to everybody of us. He never was one group, he would talk to everybody. Everybody knows Ram. Everybody would want to be with Ram. So Ram, we love you. Hope you rest in peace. My heartfelt condolences to his wife, son, and all his family. Let's cherish what kind of a person and legacy he was. And I want to be 0.001% of what Ram is. Thank you.
Hello, this is Ravi. I work for about 15 years. Yesterday, I was flying in, sitting at the airport. Somehow my mind went blank and I was so saddened. I didn't know what to do. So I started writing. So I wrote something I want to kind of read. It was a warm day when I saw Ram at the ashram in Florida. I had just finished a guided meditation session, and like clockwork, Ram showed up, just as he always did, to see his friends. After spending some time with us, he headed out. On his way, he noticed a car stuck in the mud. Without a second thought, he pulled over, stepped out, and helped the lady by pushing her car free. That was Ram. He didn't wait to be asked. He didn't do it for the prize. He did it because he cared, because that's who he was. I was fortunate to spend time with Ram at the hospital. Even in those difficult days, he met me with his trademark smile. He would ask through gestures or short words whether I had eaten, how my commute was, and how I was doing. We talked about our friends, the good old days, and somehow, even in silence, we understood each other. Ram never missed moments that mattered. No matter how busy he was, he made time for friends. He always saw the best in people, led with empathy, and gave his all to whoever he touched. During our time together at Pfizer, I watched him lean into leadership, not with titles or power, but with compassion and courage. When someone brought him a problem, his response was always the same. Don't worry, man, I'll take care of it. That was Ram, a quiet force, a tireless doer, a fierce friend, a remarkable man. He created a legacy through his kindness, through his energy, and through the lives he touched. When I think of Ram, I see someone with boundless energy, a go-getter, a larger-than-life figure who made the world around him better. He will dearly be missed, but never forgotten.
Hi, I'm Rajendra. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. So I knew Ram because he hired me at Pfizer, and he interviewed me and he hired me, and I knew him for the last 19, 20 years. He's not only my boss, but he's like a friend. He welcomed with warm heart, and he welcomed us and my family into his home and heart. So I knew him for a long time, and he's my mentor as well as he's a leader at work. He not only led from the front, but he also always used to sit with us, code with us if necessary, and he always be there for us, and he spent a lot of time for us. And whenever he left Charlotte, and he always used to make time whenever he comes to Charlotte and meet us, spend time with us, and met family and friends. And because of him, I also started to enjoy golfing, so I spent a lot of time with him golfing. And it's a loss of words to describe him, as everybody mentioned. He is so compassionate, and whenever he comes to Charlotte, he used to meet my children, and he was so playful with the children, and he used to do play magic or show magic to our children. So my children used to call him Magic Uncle. So that's how my kids, they're still small, 8 years, but they still remember him as Magic Uncle. So and I definitely, and we along with the family, miss him a lot. And my deep condolences to the family, but wherever he is, I wish he does his magic.
I'm gonna read a message from Ravi Venkata. He's one of the best friends of Ram. And I think, I don't know how long they've been together, 20 plus years, I think.
Little more than me and Ram.
So, I'm not the only one jealous of Ravi Venkata, even Nina is jealous of Ravi Venkata. So Ravi has followed with Ram, I think, every job, every city. So they moved to Charlotte or New Jersey and Miami. It's
And so I'm going to read his message. He was not able to make it in India. As I grapple with the loss of my dear friend Ram, I'm reminded of the incredible bond we shared. The outpouring of support from friends and colleagues has been heartwarming, with many of them also reaching out to ask how I am coping. It's a testament to Ram's impact on all our lives. Our friendship was a beautiful blend of shared passions and experiences. We bonded over tennis, web domains, and professional endeavors. Ram was more than just a colleague. He was my co-actor, colleague, short-term roommate, boss, golf coach, and neighbor in multiple cities. He had a gift for lifting my spirits and offering support whenever I felt low. Strangers often asked us if we were brothers, and Ram would just flash a mischievous smile, choosing not to answer. It was as if he enjoyed keeping them guessing. That unspoken understanding between us spoke volumes about the bond we had made in the years of knowing each other. One of my fondest memories is Ram's playful teasing about our golf pets. Last May, when I visited him at the hospital, where he had just come out of ICU, he still managed to give me a hard time about $37 he won from me, and the debt I still owed. His lighthearted competitiveness was classic Ram, always finding ways to bring laughter to those around him. Ram, you were more than just a friend, you were a brother I would always want. Your passing leaves a void in my life that can never be filled. Yet I will cherish the memories of our adventures, laughter, and deep conversations. Your legacy lives on in our hearts, and I'll strive to honor it by embracing life with the same enthusiasm that you did. May you rest in peace, dear Ram. We have time for one more speech if someone wants to talk.
I'm Jagan Gundala. I'm from Charlotte. I think most of you guys may not know about me, but Ram knows me very, very well. And he's my mentor, and he actually guided me in so many ways, and he helped in my business, and helped in my career. And always when I have a problem, I used to call Ram. And I'm not so well connected with you. I mean, how you guys are connected, but somehow we got connected in our minds. And it's very so, I mean, like, I've been asking God, like, ever since he was in the hospital, I've been asking him that, like, Ram is a person, I don't need to tell anything about him. You know what he is and how he is, right? I was asking God that, like, just don't take him away from the family, because he changed many of the lives, and he led, paved path for many of the people around him. So don't take those kind of people. Like, I was just praying to the God, but unfortunately my prayers wasn't listened. But my sincere condolences to Nina, Rohan, and Tarun. And Rohan happened to be my son's friend as well, Abhi. And he expressed his condolences to you as well. And along with me, I actually told many of the friends that I knew and Ram knew, and they didn't work for him, but they knew him. So Prasad, Neelu, and they wanted to share the condolences to you, Nina, Rohan, and Tarun, and Chandra and Harita. Harita worked for him, and of course Bharani, my wife, and a few others like Raghu, my brother-in-law, and his wife Seshu wanted also to share the condolences to you guys. But I really missed him a lot in my life, because he was the only one that I can trust him in terms of like everything, like so that's it.
Thank you everybody who gave him the speech. It really means a lot, and you can see there was a lot of people who have so much to say about him. we could, I mean, a few hours is definitely not enough time, but I would love to have the remainder amount of time for anybody who wants to come up and see him one more time. We do leave here at 12, so I'll have everybody just take your time and put flowers on him and go around him as you can. So I really, really appreciate the speeches. We'll finish up at 12 here and then we'll all go at 1.
You spoke to them last January and then.
We really wanted to tell us, we didn't want to tell us, he was like, he was just like, he was never up to the Now we can.
Oh, sorry, not
It will be on, it's not private channel.
No, we're doing the club, not the club. but yeah, 151,
It's
yeah.
gonna, I just feel like somehow my brain is tricky that he's still somewhere. It's like, he's like, absolutely, it's like, like magic, complete magic.
Yes.
Like this, like infection.
At some point we'll come up.
Oh, that too, you should, my brother was saying we don't have to go, you should go that one. Yeah, he's been doing this. You're so big, yeah. We wanted to do a lot of renovation. We have a bucket list.
Nothing.
eulogies.